5 days after I was born, my biological mother threw me away for reasons I still don't understand. She left me at the gates of the Blanco family estate. The women who found me looked down at the blanket, frowned, and one of them said, "Why don't we keep him?" That was how I ended up with 109 sisters. At home, I was the spoiled little king of the Blanco family. Keep from causing my sisters trouble. I lived quietly for more than 10 years. Everything stayed normal until high school. Giovanni Rossi cornered me in the bathroom with 3 of his lackeys. They dumped freezing water over my head, tore my uniform, and snapped pictures while I stood there, soaked and shivering. "What are you staring at?" Giovanni sneered. "You're just some poor scholarship kid acting proud like you belong here, trash, like you will never get into college." Beat me too hard enough that something inside me snapped. I grabbed Giovanni and threw both of us off the 3rd floor, landing. When I woke up in the nurse's office, the school nurse, Marcella Greco, "All Giovanni did was beat you a little, and you tried to kill him," she shouted. "Instead of reflecting on yourself, you plotted revenge. Call your guardian right now. If no one comes today, you're not leaving." My scalp prickled. I asked weakly, "Are you sure you want to meet my guardians, Miss Greco?" The next second, a slap cracked across the room. "Yes, we're sure," someone barked. "How dare you hurt my son, you little bastard. Get your family here and apologize." Giovanni's father, Antonio Rossi, had just hit me so hard I dropped to the floor. My cheek burned. Miss Greco acted like she hadn't seen a thing. She rushed to flatter him instead. "Mr. Rossi, don't worry, the school will handle this severely. There will be no leniency." She spun toward me and shouted, "Dante Bianco, look what you did to Giovanni. Call your guardians here now and have them pay his medical expenses." I lowered my head and dug my nails into my palms until I tasted blood. "No, that's not what happened. Giovanni and his friends cornered me in the restroom. First kicked me and burned me with cigarettes." "I only liar," Giovanni shouted from the bed. "I was just passing by when he went crazy and pushed me down the stairs. He's jealous because we're rich. Hated me forever. It was clearly you who shut up, Dante," Miss Greco snapped. "The facts are obvious. You attacked him on purpose." She dragged me out into the hall, yanked my phone from my pocket, and smacked it against my face. "I don't want to hear excuses. Call your sisters. Tell them to come pay up." Everyone in the corridor turned to stare. I looked down at my contact list and couldn't make myself press a name. I had 109 sisters. The eldest, Sofia Bianco, was the Donna of the family. My 3rd sister, Alessia, ran arms routes. My 15th sister, Francesca, handled loans. My 78th sister, Victoria, ran underground casinos. They were always stuffing black bank cards into my pockets and ruffling my hair. "Don't go looking for trouble," they'd say. "If trouble finds you, come to us. If anyone touches you," Sofia once told me, smiling gently, "I'll wipe out his whole family." "Tell me who it is," Alessia had added, "and I'll go with them with both blades." The problem was, every one of them was on Norberg's most wanted list. I remembered them coming home at dawn, smelling like blood, muttering about near misses with the cops. I thought of the news reports day after day about criminals getting arrested. I couldn't drag them into this. I lifted my head and tried one last time. "Miss Greco, my sisters all work out of state, far away. They really can't come. Can I write an apology letter, take detention? Just please don't call them." She gave a cold laugh. "No wonder you turned out like this. So shameless. If they can't come, then who's paying Giovanni's expenses? Stop stalling and call them." "How much?" I asked. I was ready to say I could pay myself. I'd never touched the black cards my sisters gave me. But Antonio Rossi stepped forward and tossed a bank card to Miss Greco. "There's 500,000 on that," he said, "a donation to the school. I'm not asking for much. Just have Dante's sisters come apologize properly and settle this. Otherwise, I'll report him for assault. Once he has a record, he can forget college." Miss Greco's eyes lit up. "Last chance, all your sisters and have them come apologize or you get a criminal record." Criminal record. The words pierced straight through me. I couldn't have one. If I got arrested, I couldn't take my exams. I still had to get into college, make money, and take care of my sisters when they were old. Tears rose before I could stop them. Shaking fingers, I unlocked my phone. "Please don't call the police," I whispered. "I'll call my sister." I tapped the first name in my contacts, Sofia. She was the gentlest of them all. If anyone could pretend to be ordinary and smooth this over, it was her. Call connected instantly. "What's up, Dante?" Sofia's warm voice came through, smiling even over the phone. I swallowed. "Sofia, Miss Greco wants you to come to school." "To your school?" she said, suddenly bright with excitement. "You won another award, didn't you? This is the first time you've asked me to pick up a certificate for you. Wait for me. I'm coming right now." My chest tightened. "No, it's not." A gunshot cracked through the call, then men shouting. Heavy thuds, a faint voice saying, "Clean this up." I froze. Childhood memories rushed back. Sofia coming home with blood on her clothes, smiling, and telling me it was ketchup. Was she hurt right now? Was she in danger? The truth on my tongue changed instantly. "It's nothing," I blurted. "I can pick it up myself. You keep doing whatever you're doing." "I'm hanging up." "Hey, why are you hanging up?" "I'm not done." Miss Greco lunged for my phone. I twisted away and ended the call. A second later, another slap exploded across my face. "You made this huge mess and you're still hiding it from your family," she screamed. Antonio slammed a fist into the wall and jabbed a finger at me. "Don't think you can dodge this. I run Norberg. I have ties in the police department. If my son says a word, your nobody family disappears." Giovanni limped over grinning. "Your family is probably too poor to eat, so where do you get the nerve to touch me?" I lowered my head. "My sister really can't come. I'm sorry, Giovanni. I was wrong. I shouldn't have pushed you. I'll apologize in front of the whole school. I'll be your errand boy for a year. You can hit me back. Just don't call the police, please. I don't want to be expelled." Giovanni laughed, but Antonio reached for my phone. "Enough bargaining. Give me your sister's number. I'll call her myself." "Hand him the phone," Miss Greco ordered. "If you want to resolve this, stop being difficult." I backed away, clutching it so tightly my fingers hurt, and in desperation, I dropped to my knees. Pain shot up my legs as they hit the tile. Tears spilled down my face. I started slapping myself and begging. "Please don't call my sister, Giovanni. Please. I'll apologize. I'll make it up to you. Hit me back if you want. Just don't call my sister, please." My face swelled. Blood ran from the corner of my mouth. At last, Giovanni smiled. "Fine," he said loudly, "but a public apology isn't enough. Tomorrow in front of the whole school, you'll kneel and slap yourself until I'm satisfied. Do that and I won't call the police." I clenched my fists and agreed. It was humiliating, but they kept my sister safe. It was worth it. That evening, I dragged myself back to the apartment my second sister, Julia, rented for me. When I opened the door, my 66th, 79th, and 93rd sisters were in the kitchen. The moment they saw me, they lit up. "Dante, you're back at dinner. Martina pinched my cheek with a grin. I heard you're getting an award. Why didn't you let us come by order? It should be my turn. Kiera immediately objected. No way, it's mine. Valentina pushed soup toward me. Drink, good for your brain. You need that college acceptance letter. I almost broke. Instead, I forced a smile. It's just a small award. I'll call you when it's a big one. Fine. Eat first. They piled food into my bowl. Then Martina answered a call, and I caught a few words. That shipment got flagged again. Someone jumped in the river. Money is not easy to make. My heart tightened. I set down my fork. Can you stop doing that kind of work? I'm grown up now. I'll get into a good college and take care of all of you. Can't you find something steadier? All three of them froze. Then incredibly, they teared up and hugged each other, deeply moved. 2 hours later, after lecturing me to study hard and sleep early, they left 3 black bank cards on the table and hurried out. I stood at the door watching them go, eyes hot. Remember to switch jobs. Okay, we know. As soon as the door shut, Martina looked at the others in confusion. That was weird. Do you think Dante doesn't like that I'm developing nuclear submarines? Kiera and Valentina looked just as puzzled. Inside, I checked the family group chat. One big loving family. It had already gone past 99 unread messages. Dante, are you tired from studying? Do you need spending money? Don't be shy. We have plenty. My vision blurred. I typed back, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I know you're all busy, but stay safe too. Then I made up my mind. I just had to endure this until the SATs were over. Monday's flag-raising ceremony. I knelt on the stage before the entire school and confessed. I pushed Giovanni down the stairs because I resented him. I was jealous. I'm worthless. Every word scraped my throat raw. Giovanni sat in a wheelchair near the front looking delighted. Crowds buzzed below. I heard his family is broke. He's on aid. What a jealous loser. No wonder his mother abandoned him, right? I'd already gone numb when the speech ended. I started slapping myself once. 10 by 50, 100. My cheeks went from stinging to burning to nothing at all. Blood ran down my lips. When it was over, I walked off the stage with my face swollen and red. Students around me parted like I was diseased. Giovanni rushed past me with his friends and said loudly, some people are born poor. You think one apology is enough? From now on, when you see me, call me sir. I said nothing. Back in class, I scrubbed at the red insults painted across my desk, but the marker had sunk into the wood. It only smeared more. By the time school ended, I couldn't take it anymore. I slipped out through the alley behind campus. Giovanni and his 3 lackeys were waiting. He stood up from the wheelchair, stretched casually and walked toward me. Didn't you say you'd be my errand boy? I haven't even gone home yet, and you're already sneaking off. Sorry, I said you didn't call me. Whether I call you or not, you follow me like a dog. He lifted his phone and pointed the camera at my face. Say it. I'm a broke loser, and I forgot to be Mr. Giovanni's lapdog. I bit my lip and stayed still. That made him smile wider. They dumped icy water over me again, tore my soaked uniform again, and pressed cigarette butts against my face. Giovanni laughed while filming. Smile and say thank you, Giovanni, for teaching me a lesson. Or should I call the police and invite your precious sister down to the station? My mind went white. Did he know? Did he really know what my sisters were? I couldn't risk it. Shaking, I repeated what he wanted. Thank you, Giovanni, for teaching me a lesson. I said it over and over until he was satisfied. Then he kicked me. If you'd behaved this well from the start, none of this would have happened. From now on, wait here for me every day after school. Whatever I say you do. Yes, sir, I said. He left laughing with his friends. I was alone in the alley. After a while, I crouched and picked up my books from the dirty water. One math paper had a bright red 100 on it, soaked and trampled. When I looked up, 5 women were standing at the mouth of the alley. Sophia was in front. 4 more of my sisters stood behind her. Their faces were dark with fury. None of them spoke. The air turned cold. At last, Sophia crouched and wiped the blood from my face with rough, gentle fingers. Who did this? The question was so gentle that I almost broke. I stared at Sophia's hand against my cheek. Nobody. Her eyes narrowed. Behind her, Alessia slowly pulled off her gloves. Francesca checked the bruises on my wrists. Victoria stared at my torn uniform like she was memorizing every thread. And the youngest of the 5, Bianca, picked up my math paper from the puddle. She looked at the red 100. Then at me. Dante, she whispered. Why is your perfect score covered in dirt? I laughed weakly. It doesn't matter. Sophia's expression changed. She knew that voice. The fake cheerful voice I used whenever I was hiding something. She stood. Who? I'm fine. Dante. I'm fine. My voice cracked. Everyone went still. I wiped my face quickly. Please just go home. Sophia crouched again. You called me from school today. I froze. I heard gunshots in the background, she continued softly. Then you hung up. My stomach dropped. She looked toward the road. 5 minutes later, I received a message saying you were involved in an assault. My heart pounded. How did you? Because I have people everywhere. Alessia snorted. She means spies. Francesca elbowed her. That isn't helping. Sophia ignored them. Why didn't you tell me? I looked down. Because I didn't want you getting arrested. Silence. Then Bianca burst out laughing. Everyone looked at her. She wiped her eyes. Sorry. She pointed at herself. Dante, I once spent 6 months on an Interpol watch list because I accidentally bought a military satellite. I blinked. What? Long story. Alessia shrugged. We're all criminals. That's exactly why. I suddenly shouted. My voice echoed through the alley. You don't understand. I grabbed my soaked math paper. I need college. I need a future. If you get arrested because of me, what happens to all of you? My voice trembled. You raised me. You fed me. You bought me books. You stayed up when I was sick. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how much money you've made. Tears blurred my vision. I just want you to grow old safely. Nobody laughed anymore. Sophia stared at me for several seconds. Then she pulled me into her arms. I resisted. She held tighter. I'm sorry. My eyes widened. Sophia's voice shook. We thought keeping you away from our world would protect you. Alessia looked away. Francesca quietly wiped her eyes. Victoria muttered. We failed. No. I hugged Sophia back. You didn't fail. A phone suddenly rang. Everyone froze. It was mine. I pulled it from my pocket. An unknown number. Sophia took it before I could answer. Hello. A boy's voice came through. Tell Dante tomorrow's video is going online. Sophia's expression hardened. Who is this? Giovanni's going to make him famous. The call ended. Sophia looked at me. What video? My blood ran cold. The alley. She understood immediately. The humiliation. The cigarette. The water. Everything. Alessia's jaw tightened. Where is this Giovanni? Don't. I grabbed her sleeve. Please. She looked at my hand, then at my face. Dante. Don't hurt him. Her eyes softened slightly. I wasn't going to. I stared at her suspiciously. She sighed. I was going to scare him. How? That's classified. Sophia stood. No one touches Giovanni. Alessia frowned. Seriously? Seriously? Sophia turned toward me. We're going to do this your way. I blinked. My way? You want college? Yes. You want a clean record? Yes. You want Giovanni nowhere near you? Yes. Sophia smiled. Then we'll make sure the truth comes out. The next morning, Giovanni arrived at school like a celebrity. His video had already spread. Students crowded around him, laughing and replaying the recording. There he is. Say it again, scholarship boy. Giovanni grinned. Then the principal walked onto the courtyard stage. His face was pale. Students, today's assembly has been postponed. Giovanni laughed. Why? Afraid of my father. The principal looked at him. No. He raised his phone. Afraid of the police. Giovanni's smile disappeared. Two officers entered the courtyard. Behind them came a prosecutor. And behind the prosecutor came a woman wearing an immaculate black suit. Sophia. My eyes widened. She wasn't alone. All 109 Blanco sisters were walking through the school gates. The courtyard erupted. Someone whispered. Who are they? Another student searched his phone, then screamed. Wait. That's Sofia Blanco. Another student dropped his backpack. She's wanted in 3 countries. Isn't Alessia Blanco wanted for arms trafficking? That's Victoria Blanco. She owns half the underground casinos. The principal looked like he wanted to resign on the spot. Sophia walked straight toward me. She smiled. Morning, little brother. Then she turned toward Giovanni. Her smile disappeared. You wanted his family to come? She gestured behind her. Here we are. Giovanni's face went white. His father, Antonio, stormed forward. You think you can intimidate me? Sophia smiled. No. She held up a tablet. We came prepared. The screen showed the bathroom security footage. Giovanni's friends dragging Dante inside. The freezing water. The cigarettes. The beating. Then the alley video. Every second was recorded from 3 different cameras. The courtyard erupted. You said Dante attacked you. You lied. Giovanni stumbled backward. Antonio grabbed the tablet. This is fabricated. Alessia laughed. Then you'll love the next part. She snapped her fingers. 2 men rolled a huge television onto the stage. The screen displayed Antonio's bank transfer to the school. $500,000 donation. Then another file appeared. Messages between Antonio and the school nurse. Make sure Dante takes the blame. We'll handle the scholarship, kid. Marcella Greco nearly fainted. The principal's knees almost buckled. Sophia looked at him. Would you like to explain why my brother was forced to publicly humiliate himself while your staff protected a wealthy student's lies? The principal swallowed. I didn't know. You do now. Police officers stepped forward. Antonio immediately started shouting about his connections. I'll have every one of you arrested. Victoria casually raised her phone. Actually, your connections have already been questioned. Antonio's phone rang. He answered. His expression changed. Someone on the other end was clearly screaming. Who are you people? He whispered. Sophia smiled. The people you threatened yesterday. Then Giovanni suddenly lunged toward Dante. You ruined everything. Dante stepped backward. Giovanni swung. Before his fist could land, Alessia caught his wrist. She didn't even look angry. Bad choice. Giovanni whimpered. Sophia pulled Alessia back. Let go. But, let go. Alessia released him. Giovanni collapsed onto the grass. The police immediately arrested him and Antonio. Marcella Greco tried to escape through the crowd. Francesca pointed. She's running. Bianca grinned. She's terrible at it. A police officer intercepted Marcella. Within an hour, the entire story had exploded across Norberg. The school issued a public apology. Dante's suspension was erased. His record was cleared. And Giovanni's family lost everything. But that afternoon, Dante sat alone in the Blanco mansion. He stared at his untouched dinner. Sophia sat beside him. You should eat. I feel guilty. For what? They got arrested. Sophia sighed. Dante, look at me. He did. You didn't destroy our family. She smiled. You reminded us why we have one. Then the mansion door suddenly slammed open. A breathless servant rushed inside. Donna Sophia. Everyone turned. What? He swallowed. There's someone outside. Ooh. The servant looked terrified. Your biological mother. Dante's fork slipped from his hand. Sophia's expression hardened. The woman who had abandoned him 5 days after his birth had finally returned. And she wasn't alone. A man stood beside her. He looked at Dante and whispered. He's alive. Sophia stood immediately. Who is that? The woman started crying. His father. Dante's heart stopped. His father? The man smiled. And then he said the words that shattered everything. I came to take back my son. Sophia stepped in front of Dante. You're 20 years too late. The man pulled out an old photograph. Then you'd better ask why his mother abandoned him. Dante stared at the picture. Because standing beside his biological parents was someone he recognized. One of his 109 sisters. And she was smiling directly at the camera. Sophia snatched the photograph. Her smile vanished. Who is that? The woman looked at her. Your sister. Every Blanco sister in the room froze. Dante stared at the photograph. The woman standing beside his biological parents was Elena Blanco, his 47th sister. But Elena had always told Dante she was born into the Blanco family. She had never mentioned another family. Sophia's voice dropped. Bring Elena here. Minutes later, Elena entered the mansion. She saw the photograph. Her face collapsed. Dante. He stood. You knew them. Elena began crying. I knew your mother. Dante's stomach twisted. Why didn't you tell me? Because she begged me to keep quiet. The biological mother stepped forward. I abandoned you because I was being hunted. Everyone stared. Your father had enemies. If they discovered you existed, they would have used you against him. Dante laughed bitterly. So you left me at an estate full of criminals? His mother lowered her head. I didn't know the Blanco family was what it became. Sophia's eyes narrowed. Who was hunting you? The biological father answered. The Rossi family. Dante went still. Antonio Rossi. Giovanni Rossi. The same family that had just destroyed his school life. The father pulled another document from his coat. Antonio didn't attack Dante because his son was offended. He placed it on the table. He was searching for this. Dante looked down. It was an old inheritance document. His name was written across the top. Dante Rossi Blanco. His biological father smiled sadly. You're the legal heir to the rosy fortune. Everyone went silent. Dante blinked. Wait. Sophia slowly turned toward Elena. Then why did the Rossi family pretend he was worthless? Elena whispered. Because if Dante discovered who he really was, he'd inherit everything. Dante's eyes widened. Then his phone buzzed. A news alert appeared. Antonio Rossi arrested. Massive financial fraud investigation underway. Another notification followed. Rossi family assets frozen. Dante looked at Sophia. She smiled. Looks like your bullies just lost their fortune. Alessia grinned. And their reputation. Victoria added. And their casinos. Francesca raised a finger. And their lawyers. Dante couldn't help laughing. For the first time in weeks, his shoulders relaxed. Then his biological father quietly said, there's one more problem. Dante looked up. What? His father pointed toward the document. The inheritance doesn't go to you when you turn 18. Dante frowned. It goes to you now. Sophia's eyebrows lifted. How much? The man answered. Approximately $12 billion. Dante nearly fell out of his chair. His 109 sisters stared at him. Then Martina shouted from the doorway. Our little brother is a billionaire? Chaos erupted. Alessia immediately grabbed Dante. You're still going to college? Francesca nodded. Obviously. Victoria smiled. And we're retiring. Dante laughed. Seriously? All 109 sisters answered together. Yes. For once, the future didn't look frightening. It looked ridiculously expensive. Epilogue. 3 years later, the Blanco mansion had become the strangest headquarters in Norberg. The Rossi family was gone. Antonio and Giovanni had been convicted for their crimes. The school had paid Dante a settlement, and Marcella Greco had lost her license after the investigation uncovered years of favoritism toward wealthy students. As for Dante, he graduated at the top of his class, and he got into his dream university. His $12 billion inheritance sat untouched, mostly because his 109 sisters had discovered one tiny problem. Dante was terrible at spending money. Dante, Sophia complained, staring at his bank statement. You bought one pair of sneakers. They were on sale. They cost $30. They're comfortable. Sophia looked genuinely offended. We're billionaires. We weren't when I was growing up. That shut her up. Then Alessia walked in carrying 6 shopping bags. I bought him clothes. Francesca followed with a new laptop. Victoria brought a car. Martina brought an entire restaurant's worth of food. Dante stared at them. I said I don't need anything. All 109 sisters shouted. We know. Then they attacked him with hugs. Dante laughed until his stomach hurt. He had spent years believing he needed to protect his sisters. Instead, he finally understood something. They had never needed his money. They had only ever wanted him. Later that evening, Dante stood outside the mansion. The same gates where he'd been abandoned as a newborn stood behind him. His biological mother approached quietly. Do you hate me? Dante thought about it. I used to. She lowered her head. But you don't anymore? Dante smiled faintly. I don't know you well enough to hate you. She began crying. He hugged her anyway. Let's start over. From behind a tree, Sophia whispered. That was sweet. Alessia nodded. Should we give them privacy? No. Why? I want to see if he cries. Dante immediately turned around. I can hear you. The sisters scattered, laughing. His mother laughed too. And Dante realized something. The child left at the gate had spent his entire life wondering why he hadn't been wanted. Now he finally knew the answer. He hadn't been abandoned. He had been delivered to the wrong family. Because somehow, fate had decided he deserved 109 sisters who would burn the world down before letting anyone hurt him again. Dante looked at the ridiculous crowd running through the mansion. Then he smiled. Okay, he shouted. Who's ordering dinner? 109 hands shot into the air. And the Blanco mansion descended into chaos all over again.